If you're stuck and you can't lose body fat, then this is the video for you. In this video, I'm going to explain the process of metabolism manipulation that I specialize in called metabolic priming. It's worked for hundreds of my clients and currently working for 87 of my current active clients around the world. My name's Adam Bono. I'm an online fat loss professional and I specialize in hormones and I specialize in getting men to the leanest body fat percentage they've ever been. So this is just some of the guys that I have currently worked with, and I've done numerous case studies on exactly how metabolic priming works. But in today's video, I'm going to give you a very high-level overview if you're someone who's stuck in a fat loss plateau and eating low amounts of calories. So let's get right into today's video. So the process of metabolic priming, by definition, is the manipulation of cellular metabolism. So if you're somebody who's in a 2,000 calorie or less position where you've been dieting for some time now, maybe you've tried a fad diet on the internet like keto, carnivore, low carb, or even maybe a PDF from your local trainer. You've probably been dieting for some time. You've probably lost a good amount of weight so far, but you've gotten stuck, right? And you're eating low food. And anytime you try to raise the cardio or lower the food, you just seem to look not only worse, but you don't have the energy that you once had. So this is a depiction of what's called metabolic adaptation, which is a process of actually once your metabolism starts to lower over time, to succumb for the overall adaptation to low amounts of food. Some would call it diet fatigue, right? So since you've been in the diet for some time, everything in your body, including the thermic effect of food, your BMR, your non-energy activity thermogenesis, and your total exercise activity level starts to go down, right? So let's break it down, right? So 60% of your entire metabolism is your resting metabolic rate. How many calories you burn doing nothing. So as you start to lower calories, that starts to lower as well. Why? It's because your body doesn't want to lose body fat. Your body actually restricts you from losing body fat, and it starts to throw up red flags in your system by starting to lower BMR to overcome the diet that you're currently going through. So over time, as your BMR starts to lower, this is kind of what the body calls energy conserving mode. Because once we start to get lower in calories, the body needs to save the essential body functions like breathing, blood flow, sleeping, organ function to keep you upright, keep you walking, keep you breathing. So as these calories start to lower in your BMR, other things start to go lower as well. One, your thermic effect of food, which is the amount of calories that you're currently intaking that actually gets burned in the thermic digestion process. So protein, 30% thermic effect. Carbs, 10% thermic effect. Fats, 0% thermic effect. And then even like your non-energy activity thermogenesis starts to go down as well. The overact actions that you take on an everyday basis, like fidgeting, like getting up to walk to the fridge, the non-planned activity. So this starts to lower because you start to have less energy in the body, and subconsciously, the body wants to conserve energy at a very high rate. So as well as that, over time, if you're doing any exercise activity like working out, like cardio, it tends to have less of effect over time. So your body wants to adapt to it. You guys have to remember that the body is highly adaptive. So if you've been doing 30 minutes of cardio for a month straight, the amount of calories that you burn on day 1 will not equate to the amount of calories that you burn on day 30. So over a course of time, you've gone lower in calories and you've started to degrade all the actual calories out process, right? So you're tracking your calories in, you're using calories, but you're not really well versed in calories out, right? There's 4 different buckets in calories out. So now that you've been in this for some time, there's something that you need to do, and it's called metabolic priming. You need to prime your metabolism and start to reverse your food back to gain more traction before going in another fat loss phase. One, some symptoms that I see every day when clients that come to us who have been overly under eating for an extended period of time is like an inflamed gut, inflammation in your body, very tired all the time, very fatigued, and this is a body's response to adrenal fatigue, raised cortisol levels, and then overall fatigue within the body due to inflammation, all right? So you got to remember that carbohydrates in general, guys, are the body's main fuel source, the main source of fuel. It prefers to burn carbohydrates, and it stores less as body fat. So there's a clinical study done that states they overfed people 1,000 calories, right? And the amount of calories that they actually conserved in body fat was close to actually 2%, right? The majority of fat that you gain is from fat, from the intake of fat. So calories, if you're eating a high-carb diet, kind of cushions the calories, but your body reverts to start storing body fat. So When a lot of clients come to us, one, we have to do an assessment. How many calories you've been eating? We've seen guys as low as 1,400 calories. And if you're eating 1,400 calories, this should be an eye-opener for you because you're not healthy. This is not healthy. Being under 2,000 calories is not healthy. We have multiple guys right now up thousands of calories and down hundreds of pounds across our entire platform. Our clients are quite literally eating hundreds of grams more carbohydrates and down 20, 30, and we even have a few clients down 100 pounds currently, eating more food because we understand, first of all, how the body works and how to put certain macronutrients in place to correctly affect hormone levels and increase those 4 buckets we talked about. So how do we do this correctly? How is this process done? Because a lot of people on the internet have been asking me tons of questions, very skeptical about my process and how it works. First of all, you could be as skeptical as you want, but do your due diligence first of all and check out our client results. Our client results are immaculate, and I have all my testimonials, all my case studies on my YouTube to prove the process of what we're doing and why it works. But from a high-level overview, let's kind of run it down, right? So let's say a client comes to us and he's eating 1,800 calories. He's doing 40 minutes of cardio, all right? So we can already estimate that his BMR is probably shot because, one, when people have been eating 1,800 calories, say you've lost 80 pounds, you can't be following the exact same diet that you've been following, eating the exact same amount of calories. You need to have a dynamically updating macronutrient profile because if you're following the same profile that you've used when you've lost 80 pounds, you're just going to hit a plateau. So there's a strict problem with people in today's society because people are great at losing weight. They're fantastic at losing weight using keto, carnivore, and you can usually tell the guys who've tried these diets because they have a layer of fat that they can't get off that's accumulated over time in the form of visceral fat. And it's because once you go through these diets and once you lose a significant amount of weight, you crash your metabolism, and anytime you add more food, you gain even more back than you started, and now you're even more screwed because you have a low metabolism and even more body fat to lose. And that's where a bunch of people in today's society get stuck, and it's because they don't understand how the body works. And people don't have a weight loss problem. Like, society's great at losing weight. We have a fat loss problem, and more specifically a keeping fat off problem, which means that most people will go and lose 30 pounds and 20 of it be muscle tissue, and then after a time, only 30% of those people actually keep it off statistically. And after 2 years, even shorter amount of those people actually keep it off. So we don't have a weight loss problem. We have a fat loss and a keeping fat off problem. So I digress. So let's say a client comes up and he's been eating 1,800 calories, right? 40 minutes of cardio, and his BMR shot from over dieting, and because he's lost a considerable amount of weight, and now his metabolism is completely shot. So what most people will do, what most clients and what most coaches in the industry will do, coaches who don't know what they're doing, will be like, okay, let's put you in a calorie deficit. So how do we make a calorie deficit? So understanding the body, we know the body's highly adaptive. It's now adapted to 1,800 calories, 40 minutes of cardio with a shot BMR. And so the first thing you have to do is either raise cardio or lower calories to create a deficit. And how sustainable is that? How is sustainable going less in calories than you're already eating? 1,400 calories, under 1,800 calories for a male in today's society is completely unhealthy. It's completely unsustainable too, because all it's going to do is make you hungry and put you even a worse place mentally because you're just going to gain a lot of weight back. So how do we do this correctly? So the first thing we do after we do our caloric intake maintenance assessment with our clients, we start them off by cutting cardio, right? So we cut cardio right here. So we put cardio at 0, and we start them off at 10K steps, right? So what we're trying to do here specifically is reduce any fatigue, any adrenal fatigue, any cortisol levels, and lower inflammation. One, because low-intensity cardio like walking reduces leptin. It's non-inflammatory. It burns calories, yes, but it's a very low barrier to entry, which means that you can do it anywhere you go. You can burn body fat and add a lower percentage of the VO2 max, which is like a zone 1 cardio like walking. You burn 40% more body fat than at a running. So a lot of guys who come to us and doing the HIIT training, they love the HIIT training. HIIT training is great, but it burns more carbohydrates. It burns more carbohydrates than fat. So it's a zone 4 cardio. So the higher levels you go up in the cardio range, the more substrates of carbohydrates you burn. The lower you go, the more substrates of fat you burn. So we stick our clients, we cut all their cardio to reduce inflammation. We induce steps to make sure that they're getting good lactate reduction. And now we start working their calories up slowly, right? But it's not just any calories. It's macronutrients. Macronutrients play a vital role in your hormone profile, and they play a vital role in how your body utilizes certain foods. So all calories are equal. Calories is just a unit of measurement, right? It's just like miles per hour. But all macronutrients are different. So we mentioned earlier, one of the 4 buckets in how your body burns cardio is the thermic effect of food. So each macronutrient has a certain thermic effect, which means that, protein burns 30% thermic effect. Every 100 calories of protein you eat, 30% gets broken down. 30%, 10% of carbohydrates get broken down, and then 0% of fats gets broken down. So we give them correct macronutrients. And the first thing we do is get a protein goal, a fat goal, and then we backfill the rest with carbohydrates to meet what they're already eating per day calorie-wise. So they're not eating any more calories. So let's say a client comes with 1,800 calories. We set them at 1,800 calories, but we give them a specific protein goal based upon our formulas, a fat goal based upon our formulas, and we give them a carbohydrate goal, right? And we start working carbohydrates into their diet. Because we talked about earlier, carbohydrates don't store as body fat. They want to be used as fuel for the human body. Fat stores as body fat. So with that being said, we want to keep the fat low, keep the protein high for a thermic effect, and use carbohydrates to our advantage to, 1, stimulate T3 in the body, the active thyroid hormone, but also reduce even more inflammation. Carbohydrates, what they do in the human body is they correlate to essential body functions. That's what BMR is, 60% of your metabolism, right? And so as we start to increase carbohydrates also reduce inflammation, adrenal fatigue, and they aid the brain cognitive ability, make you think better, make you perform better. So we start raising these slowly, right? We check in each week with our clients to make sure that they're progressing correctly, and each week they check in. If their body weight is at or below, we end up giving them more carbohydrates, right? And over the course of time, after every single week we're checking in, dynamically updating their macronutrients based upon the progress we're making, we're able to get our clients up to upwards of 3,200 calories and able to lose a significant amount of weight, right? And these are all the case studies to back them up, all the case studies that we have done on our clients that are currently up thousands of calories and down a crap ton of weight and absolutely shredded. So with that being said, what happens next, right? We got your calories up. Your BMR is now officially up here, right? You're doing no cardio. Now what happens, right? You're eating more food than you ever had. You feel great. You're down in weight. You're leaner than it's ever been. You're eating more food. You don't understand how it's happening, but it has. Like, it's happened. And now we have 3,200 calories, right? So what do we do next? Like, what do we do next now that we got all these calories to work with and we're doing no cardio? Now we can use calorie deficit, which means now we have a high BMR. Your body's burning 3 of the 4 buckets already. It's burning more calories with a thermic effect of food. It's burning more calories with your BMR. And it's burning more calories with non-energy activity thermogenesis because your energy is higher. And you subconsciously move more. You fidget more. You go do stuff more. And the crazy thing is that non-energy activity thermogenesis can burn up to 500 to 800 calories per day, which means that you're burning 500 calories a day doing nothing but eating more food. And now, since we got 3 of the 4 buckets complete, now we can start focus on the 4th bucket, which is exercise activity. And now it has a new stimulus because we've adjusted your body, and your body's adjusted to doing none. So what do? We slowly go back down, and we slowly lower cardio back up. We keep the 10K steps in there, and we dynamically update your macronutrient profile, lowering carbohydrates, lowering fat, slightly lowering protein, but adding more cardio, right? And that's how our clients are doing it. And it's a predictable process that's repeatable. And we can get them back down to 3,000, 2,800, 2,600, 2,400. And they're doing maybe, 30, 35 minutes of cardio, 35 minutes of cardio, but now they're eating 2,400 calories. They're doing 30 minutes of cardio every once in a while. Their BMR, maybe it dropped a little bit just because that's how the body works, but they have more energy. They can eat more food. They're not hungry, and now they're in the better position. And all on top of that, within this process, they learned the correct patterns and routines that's going to be sustainable. And what I mean by that is that these one-size-fits-all diets like keto, carnivore, and starving yourself to get lean, any moron on the internet can starve themselves. Any moron on the internet can just starve yourself to get lean. But you need to understand the actual patterns and routine along with your day-to-day that's going to keep you there long-term. If you don't learn what you're doing and why, how calories and macronutrients work, you're just going to gain the weight back. So we have to be able to teach our clients what macronutrients their body uses, exactly how the body works, and so they can keep it off. Like what happens if you go on vacation with your wife? What happens if you have an anniversary with your wife, you have to go out to dinner? What's going to happen then if you don't know how to work calories and macronutrients? See, those are the things that need to be answered in the form of longevity, because education leads to consistency, and consistency leads to sustainability. So as this process goes on, a side factor is they're learning what macronutrients are. They're learning what protein, carbs, and fats are. They're tracking their food using flexible dieting, which means that they can go on the road and stop at a gas station, stop at Chick-fil-A, stop at Chipotle, and track that food and not have to just eat chicken and rice. But now they're creating the pattern, they're creating the routine that keeps it off for good. That's how these guys, we've been working with are losing 100+ pounds. And they're keeping it off, right? It's because, to lose 100 pounds and keep it off, you have to make the identity change. You have to make the routine change. You have to make the morality change to be able to keep it off for good, right? And that's how we teach our clients, right? Specifically, the right way to do it, because you can do it the wrong way 100 times and keep doing it the wrong way. Or you can do it right once, learn the correct way, and never have to learn another thing again. It'll just be a second nature for you. It's just like brushing your teeth for most of my clients. Track your food, get your steps in, hit the gym. That's the lifestyle. That's the healthy lifestyle. And with today's society being as crappy as it is in the food industry, like nutrition is at an all-time high and value to actually learn. So you need to learn these things because who's going to teach your children? Who's going to teach your wife as the food industry gets worse and as society gets less active? Because the body, for instance, it's meant to store body fat. And we have too much consumption and not enough activity in today's life. So if you don't have a good routine of what to eat and why, and actually expending calories in the form of like exercise, you will get fat and you'll have a lot of health issues as well. And I don't want that for any of you guys. So I hope this video kind of explained what metabolic priming is. I have a link down below. If this is you've been under 2,000 calories, you're struggling to get lean, you're stuck, you're spinning your wheels, and you have symptoms of just low metabolism, like an inflamed gut, that like spare tire around your waist that just can't get rid of, sign up for a time down below. Like, now's your chance. A lot of guys are sitting here waiting like to the first of the year. Like, why wait to the first of the year? Now's your time. Get in front of everybody else. Be an action taker. Because the guys in life who are action takers are ahead of everybody else. This is something you need to do. You need to get back in shape. You need to figure it out. So why wait? Why wait one more second trying to figure it out yourself when if you could have figured it out yourself, you would have? We help people like you get into the best shape of their life, learn what they need to do, how they need to do it, and put it on a silver platter on how to actually do it the right way. So if that sounds like you, and you're a dedicated guy, we don't take everybody. We just got 3 applications this last week from people on the internet, and that we actually declined because they weren't a good fit for the program. We don't take any just turds, but we want to work with guys who are actually serious, high-performing individuals, guys that understand the value of having a great body and understand the value of having great health. Those are the guys we work with. So if you want to work with us and you want to have a team of people over 87, actually it's 88. 88, we got another guy on last night. He's a great fit. Then sign up for a time down below and we'll jump on a call and see if it's a good fit for you to work with us. And if it is, we will get you in the best shape of your life and we'll change your life forever.